going to have to sort through.
Okay, let's bring in B.J. Bernstein. B.J., what are the key pieces of evidence here? Obviously, Carl's talking to people who may have seen something, but it comes down to Ben Roethlisberger and the alleged victim. What are investigators going to be looking at here?
Well, they're going to really analyze what she said and what he said, because, again, we don't know what they use the term sexual assault. We don't know specifically what sexual act or acts are even being involved. We don't know if he's being investigated for a misdemeanor, which would be a mere touching, where it would be something that she didn't consent to, versus something far more serious, a felony, and that under Georgia law would require proof of force and against the will, and that is a whole different category. And so all the things that we've been leaking out, really, they're very, very small details, and really for any of us to know what's happening, which really is appropriate when you talk about how serious any sex charge is for someone.
Okay, so what else could be involved here? Possible use of a rape kit when she was examined at a hospital. Blood alcohol, I'd imagine, would be looked at, right, B.J.?
Right. Blood alcohol definitely on everybody involved. If it was taken that night, or just the lay observations of how they seemed, and when they're talking to all these people, how many drinks did they have? Are they on their credit card tabs? Can you tell anything from what they were texting that night? Subpoenaing records on if their Twitter follow, were they on Twitter that night? Those type of things. In terms of a rape kit, again, we don't know if the allegation is intercourse. That would only be, a rape kit. We know she went to the hospital. We don't know what tests were done there.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, Carl, what is the latest on the alleged victim? There are reports out there she's dropping out of school. What can you tell us?
Well, that's what we reported last night. I talked to some people who said that she was dropping out of school. They identified themselves as her friends, and that she had taken down her Facebook account and she was leaving her sorority. TMZ then reported later today, they confirmed that. They said that she did leave.
Okay. BJ, what's that tell you? Anything at all here?
Again, no, because the truth about it is the nation is watching this, and when you make an allegation, this is so unusual for this to be so public before an arrest. We're used to seeing this much publicity about someone famous after they've been arrested, but really rarely do you see it at this investigative stage, and so it's got to be, whether it's true or not, it's got to be having a huge effect. And, like this reporter from Pittsburgh in Milledgeville, there is a school of only about 6,000 students. It's a town about 2 hours outside of Atlanta, and it's not that big. So I would imagine, yes, she would want to go home with her parents no matter what's going on right now.
Okay. Bring in Ellis Cannon. Ellis, real quick before the break, we got about 30 seconds, but Ed Garland has been hired. Ed Garland has represented some pretty famous people, right? Ray Lewis, for one.
Yeah, certainly. And, of course, there's a little bit of irony from the standpoint, of course, that's the Steelers' arch enemy, and that received a tremendous amount of discussion, attention, and derision here in Pittsburgh years ago when that happened. So at the very least, there is irony. But it is being seen here, regardless of who the attorney is, as a serious matter. You get the feeling that they're taking it seriously in Georgia because there's something serious to take. That seems to be the initial first-week type of interpretation from people who've had to experience this from Ben, one form or the other previously.
Okay, we'll talk about also the reaction in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. What about the NFL? I'm sure they're watching as well. What about you? What are your comments, your questions? Call in 1-877-TEL-HLN.